Hello and welcome back to Rongmar. In today's geography lesson, we're taking a look at the Rainforest Layer cake. Our goal for today's lesson is to explore the different layers of the rainforest and to learn about what lives there. What can you remember from the last lesson about rainforests? Can you remember any of the countries we would find them in? Or do you remember the name of the area of the world we would find them in? Pause the video and see if you can write down 2 facts from the last geography lesson. Well, you might remember from the last lesson that nearly all of the rainforests in the world are found in the tropics. That's the area near to the equator, that invisible line that goes around the Earth. Let's pack our bags and head over to the rainforest to see what it's like on the ground. But before we go, what do you think we would need to pack with us? If you could only bring 5 things with you to the rainforest, what 5 things would you pack? Pause the video and write down the names of those 5 things. Okay, now that we're all packed up, we're ready to hop on board and fly over to the rainforest. What do you think the temperature is going to be like when we get there? What do you think we're going to see when we get there? Do you think you're going to like it there? Or are you going to wish that you were back home in front of your laptop or your phone? Well, the first thing you're going to notice about the tropical rainforest is that it is very hot. Not only is it hot, but it's also very humid. I don't know if you've ever experienced humidity before, but that's when the air is damp and sticky and it makes you feel all clammy and sweaty. Because we're so close to the equator now, this is one of the warmest places on Earth. So I hope you packed some water, because you're going to sweat an awful lot here. As well as the really warm temperatures. Also going to notice something else. It rains a lot here. And having come from Ireland, we know a thing or two about rain. But nothing like this. It rains nearly every single day in the rainforest. So not only are you going to get wet from your sweat, you're also going to be drenched by the water falling from the sky. So I hope you packed an umbrella with you. All this warm and wet weather makes it perfect for plants to grow. Plants love warm weather and water, so rainforests tend to be bursting with plant life. As you look around, you're going to notice lots of trees, vines, flowers, bushes, all sorts of plant life growing. Because there's so many different plants, that also means there's going to be a lot of different types of animals who can live and eat the plants that are growing. Because there are so many plants and trees growing in such a small space, something unique starts to happen. Rainforest starts to grow in different layers. Just like this delicious rainbow cake, the rainforest has different layers too. Each layer is unique with different temperatures, different amounts of sunlight, and different amounts of rainwater. In each different layer of rainforest, you'll find totally different plants, trees, and animals. Let's go take a closer look at these different layers of the rainforest, and let's see what lives in each of the layers. We'll start at the tippy top of the rainforest. Rising high above all the other trees are the tallest trees of the rainforest. This layer is called the emergent layer. There are only a few trees that grow in this layer because it's so high up in the sky. These trees can grow as tall as skyscrapers, as big as 80 meters tall. These giant trees have got very thin, weak trunks. But because they're so much higher than the other trees, they get more light and more room to grow. The only problem with being up this high is that you're closer to the really warm sun and the strong winds of the rainforest. It's like living on top of a Jenga tower, ready to fall under your weight at any time. That's why the creatures who live up here are mainly small and light birds. However, there are some larger birds who live in the emergent layer, like this white-tailed hawk and these harpy eagles. Let's climb a little bit down this tree to the next layer of the rainforest. Here we are in the thickest layer of trees and plants in the whole rainforest. Just below the emergent layer is the canopy. The canopy is made up of loads of sticks and branches and leaves from all of the trees that are squished together. It is really, really thick here. All of the trees are crowded tight together, trying to get a bit of sunlight. The canopy is so thick that 98% of the sunlight stops here. It can't get through to the lower levels. It also stops 80% of all the rain from reaching the ground. It just gets stuck here in the canopy. The canopy is the home to most of the animals of the rainforest. It's where most of the rainforest fruits and berries grow, so you'll find lots and lots of animals jumping around the canopy. You can expect to see some macaws, you might see a toucan, and of course, plenty of howler and spider monkeys. And if you're very, very patient, you might even see the silent two-toed sloth chewing on the leaves of the canopy. Let's climb down a little bit lower to see what's on the next layer. Underneath the canopy is a much darker layer of the rainforest, the understory. Down here there's very little sunlight since most of it is blocked by the canopy up above. This makes it a dark and damp place. Because there's not much sunlight, the plants that grow down here can't grow tall. Instead, they grow small into little bushes and trees. Because it's so damp and wet down in the understory, it's the perfect place for creatures like the coloured tree frog to live, because they need their skin to stay moist. It's also a great place for animals that need to camouflage, like the green mamba, one of the deadliest snakes in the world. This snake blends in with the understory and slithers up and down the branches of the rainforest. Let's jump down to the last layer of the rainforest, the forest floor. This is the bottom layer of the rainforest. Down here, the leaves and branches from the trees above fall down and cover the ground. They rot away thanks to all the insects that are living down here. The forest floor is the darkest of all rainforest layers. It's also probably one of the most dangerous parts of the rainforest. Down here, the largest predators of the rainforest stalk through the bushes. Keep an eye out, because skulking in the darkness are leopards, jaguars, and tigers waiting to pounce on their prey from the bushes. So that's what our rainforest layers look like. At the top, we have the wibbly-wobbly emergent layer, where the eagles and other birds live. Below that, we have the thick canopy, where most plants and animals live. Watch out for the beautiful macaws and the jumping, leaping howler monkeys. Under that, we've got the dark and damp understory, home to slithering snakes and slippery frogs. And finally, we have the dark, dark forest floor, home to skulking tigers and pouncing jaguars. If you had to set up a den in one of these 4 layers, which one would you choose and why? So our Walt for today's lesson was to explore the different layers of the rainforest and to discover who lives there. When you're ready, you can try the practice activities down below to test your knowledge. That's all we have time for today. Until next time, take care.